Dear Manfred, dear Donald, dear Chairman Heubers, Deputy Prime Minister Hoekstra, fantastic host, many, many thanks. Dear Presidents, dear Prime Ministers, delegates, dear friends. It's so good to be here with you. Such an inspiring Congress. And let me begin with a few words of thanks too. And I would like to thank our outgoing President Donald Tusk for leading our family in the last 3 years. Donald, you are a man of character. You fought for freedom and the rule of law under communist regime. You became Prime Minister. You were President of the European Council. When you left the Council, you said, Europe is the best place on earth, as long as it remains a continent of freedom and rule of law, which is inhabited by a community aware of its history and culture. End of quote. Now, my dear Donald, you return to your home country to again stand up for those values. Bon courage, my friend. And Donald, remember, when we see each other again, we'll see you, as you've said, as a Prime Minister. Dear Manfred, congratulations from the bottom of my heart. It's great to have you as our new chairman. You will lead EPP brilliantly. I know this because you stood by my side from the very first day of my mandate. You're always accessible. You're always open to new ideas. You never shy away from any challenge. And with you, together, we will win elections. That's what we're going to do. And I want to thank all the delegates and participants of our Congress. I'm deeply impressed of the great work that you've done in our new Congress paper, for example, on values and democracies. In this paper, you're describing the heart and the soul of our Christian democrats. Europe is a lot. For example, the world's largest single market, and we're very proud of that. But Europe is above all the guardian of our universal values and principles. And this, my friends, is the heart of Europe. This is the essence. We believe in democracy that lifts up not just a few, but the many. We believe in equality and inherent dignity of every single person. We believe in an independent judiciary and the mighty rule of law. And we know that these values are not for granted. In our immediate neighborhood, in Ukraine, Putin is trying to trample and crush these values with tanks. And my friends, this is a defining moment for Europe. This is a moment that calls for EPP. We have to do everything possible to make sure that Putin fails and freedom prevails. This is our task. And therefore, I want to greet and applaud our fantastic delegates from Ukraine. Dear Julia, dear Petro, I've yesterday met all these young delegates from Ukraine that are here. Your bravery, your determination are such an inspiration for us. Thank you very much for joining our Congress. My dear friends, I was in Kiev and Bucha before Easter. I spoke with President Zelensky and Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. I met survivors in Bucha who were still struggling to find words. I saw mass graves and body bags lined up next to a church. I saw the scars and wounds of bombed-out houses, hospitals, and schools. We can never match the sacrifices Ukrainians are making every day. But we can support them with the strongest weapon we have. And that's the power of our unity and our economy. And some say Europe is always too little, too late. Well, my friends, we have proven them wrong. When the war started on day 2, day 4, day 6, we unleashed unprecedented massive sanctions against Russia. We have mobilized billions of euros to finance military equipment for Ukraine for the first time ever. We are caring for more than 6 million refugees. And my friends, this is Europe at its best, united, determined, and active, and we should take pride in it. This is our Europe. And we will support Ukraine in its reconstruction. This is not only in our strategic interest, this is our moral duty. The investments we'll need are enormous. And I think we should create a platform, a reconstruction platform. Of course, we will do our part. As Europeans, we'll finance as much as possible. But of course, also our partners, for example, our friends from the United States or Canada, G7, organizations, IMF, World Bank, G20. As I said, this is our moral obligation. But one thing is also clear. It is Putin who unleashed this atrocious war. And the perpetrator must bear the costs of his behavior. And therefore, it is Putin and his oligarchs who have to contribute to the reconstruction of Ukraine. And seized assets of Russian oligarchs must go into rebuilding Ukraine. This is only just. And my friends, these investments, of course coupled with reforms, can and should pave the way into our European Union. It's obvious the Ukrainians are fighting so bravely because they know exactly what they want, what kind of future they want. A future as a free and open society, belonging to a strong democratic community. And they are ready to fight for that, and if necessary, to die for that. They want to join our European Union. We will do everything to accompany them because Ukraine deserves a fair chance. Of course, our standards and conditions in a European Union accession process must be met, no doubt. But how quickly Ukraine will take the necessary steps towards modernization and how quickly it makes progress with the reforms, it is entirely up to them. But we, and this is important, we stand by their side. We will do our utmost to support this brave country on its way into our European Union. After all, my friends, Ukraine's longing and its aspirations are just a reflection of what we have achieved together in Europe and how much our well-being and our security are built on a strong democratic community. And dear friends, this war is about Ukraine, but it's also about us. We have to get rid of our dependency on Russian fossil fuels. We have kicked out coal by now. That's good. And yesterday we banned Russian oil. And now we have to get rid of Russian gas. We have to repower EU. We have to diversify away from Russia to reliable, trustworthy suppliers, like, for example, our friends from the United States. But more importantly, we have to massively invest in renewable energy. We have always known that renewables are good for the climate. But now we see that renewables are also good for our independence and our security of supply. They are homegrown, and they create good jobs here in Europe. And my friends, it pays off that it was us, EPP, who started the European Green Deal. The others spoke a lot, but we have done it, and we have done it in a smart way. We've done it in a smart way. The others may want to regulate every tiny detail. We trust in innovation and the time-honored principle of our social market economy. The others want to rely on prohibitions and bans. We trust in fair competition. We want a conducive environment in which entrepreneurship can thrive. We want the can-do attitude of family businesses. We trust the creativity of our SMEs. Our European Green Deal opens a world of opportunities for them. And I know that we sometimes think, is all of this necessary? Our climate goals 2030 and 2050 are so far away. Why change our behavior? Dear friends, I have a little granddaughter. She's 1 year old now. And I often think, 2030, she will be a schoolgirl of 9 years. And in 2050, a young woman of 29, perhaps she'll have children. Will she still experience a spring, a summer, fall and winter? Or will she say, Grandma, why didn't you act when it was your responsibility? And my friends, EPP is for me about leadership. I want us to be courageous, innovative, and leading. This is what Europe expects from us, and my friends, we will deliver. And I want to thank all our EPP commissioners. Valdis Dombrovskis, our man to watch over our economy. Margaritis Kinas, our man to preserve our European way of life. Dubravka Svica, for the Conference of the Future of Europe. Gio Hahn, the guardian of our budget. Maria Gabriel, tireless for education, culture, and science. My dear Stella Kyriakides, watching over health and beating cancer. Adina Valean, transport solidarity lanes, so important now to get the wheat out of Ukraine. Thank you, Adina. Mairead McGuinness, our guardian of the financing sector. And I want to thank all of our EPP colleagues in the member states and in the European Parliament. You are the ones who are putting all that on the road. And without you, this would not have been possible. You are just great. Thank you. My friends, many of you will remember the EPP Congress in Dublin in 2014. It was Bono from U2 who said, indeed, Europe is a thought that still needs to become a feeling, a thought that needs to become a feeling. These days, we can see this European feeling emerging, a feeling of unity and determination in the face of Russian aggression, a feeling of responsibility in a union of 450 million people joining forces to save our planet, our common home, a feeling of confidence that our single market and our unique social model provide for and protect the jobs of the future, a feeling of pride in our democracies, and that when it's getting serious, we are standing up for Ukraine in a powerful manner. My dear friends, long live Europe. Thank you.